There is a moment before fire. There always is. When we are still just flesh awaiting the baptism of flames, when destiny is still a whisper in the winds of Pentos, when dragons are but the fevered dream of mad kings and souled princesses. Daenerys watches the sea, 14 years old, silver hair like moonlight on water, violet eyes that seem to see through the veil. That subtle fabric Plato said separates the visible world from what he called real. A borrowed mansion, an existence suspended between shadows of a realm she has never seen. Viserys whispers stories she doesn't know whether to believe. Iron throne, dead dragons, a house with a red door, and a lemon tree in the garden. How can she not believe? They are the only shadows cast upon the wall of her cave. Plato spoke of prisoners chained since childhood, seeing only shadows, taking them for all of reality. Daenerys doesn't know she is a prisoner. Knowledge of this prison will come later, when it's too late to choose not to know. Viserys' voice carries ancestral venom. The fingers that pinch, twist, leave marks no one sees beneath Pentos silk. Each cruel touch forges an invisible chain. Each whispered threat weaves another link. Each "you are mine," spoken with fraternal possession, adds weight to shackles she will carry even after she is free. The Platonic prisoners love their chains because they know nothing else. Daenerys loves Viserys because he is all she has of home. Confuses abuse with protection, violence with strength, dependence with belonging. The cave is not just place. It is relationship. It is blood. It is the only love she has known. Still, something in her knows light exists somewhere. She dreams of the house with the red door, the scent of lemons, warmth that neither burns nor threatens. The soul, being immortal and having been born many times. Plato whispers across millennia about anamnesis, about the knowledge the soul carries from previous existences. And Daenerys carries this primordial memory, not from past lives, but from something deeper. The memory of what it means to be fire before knowing flames. Marriage arrives as transaction, sold to Khal Drogo for a ghost army Viserys will never command. Plato describes with almost cruel precision the moment when the prisoner turns their head for the first time. There is pain. Atrophied muscles protest. Eyes, accustomed to dimness, tear in the light. The world spins, nausea and vertigo seize the being. Daenerys on her wedding night, silent tears as the Dothraki sun sets over the grass sea. Body used as currency. Dignity traded for 10,000 warriors who are not hers. Violence disguised as tradition. And then, Dorea teaches. Not about pleasure, that's surface. She teaches about power, about how apparent submission can become dominion, how surrender can be conquest. It is not the slave who becomes master, she might have said, had she known the words. It is the one who understands that chains exist only as long as we believe in them. The transformation is subtle and devastating. She learns to turn Drogo, not with force. What force would she have against the Lord of Horses? But through understanding. The dialectic of master and slave inverts at the moment she chooses, when she transforms imposition into decision. The eggs arrive as wedding gifts, petrified. Dead for centuries, the merchants say. Pretty stones, nothing more. Plato spoke of the world of forms, that place beyond the physical where the perfect archetypes of all things exist. A horse of flesh can die, but the form of horse is eternal. A dragon can become stone, but the idea of dragon remains, pulsing somewhere beyond matter. Daenerys places the eggs in the coals. Others feel cold stone when they touch them afterward. She feels pulsing, warmth, life. Not life that was placed there, but life that was always there, waiting only for eyes capable of seeing, hands capable of awakening. Themos, Plato called it thus, the fiery part of the soul, that which dwells between reason and desire, seat of courage and righteous anger. In Daenerys, Thymos is not metaphor. It is literal. It is fire that doesn't burn. It is dragon before the dragon. It is the part of the soul that recognizes its kind even when petrified for centuries. Does she see something others cannot see? Or does she finally see what was always there, hidden beneath layers of disbelief and centuries of forgetting? Viserys dies with molten gold running down the face he always wanted crowned. Crown for king, Drogo says while pouring the liquid metal. He was no dragon. Fire cannot kill a dragon. There is a dark necessity here the Athenian philosopher would recognize. The guardian of the cave, the one who held the chains, who decided which shadows the prisoners could see, always dies when someone begins to awaken. Not from revenge, but from nature. Like the caterpillar that dies for the butterfly to exist. Viserys could not see beyond the shadows of a throne that existed only in his fevered imagination, of a crown that was more obsession than metal. He died chained to his own illusions, drowned in gold he believed was power, while she, his merchandise, his property, walked toward true fire. Khaleesi, they call her now. No longer sister, no longer property. A new name for something that doesn't yet have a complete name, for something just beginning to become. Drogo dies poisoned by wounds that knew not how to heal. The child dies before being born, payment for a life that should not have been saved. Everything that seemed solid dissolves into smoke and betrayal. Miri Mazdur sings prophecies while preparing the funeral. Only death can pay for life. The Meiji believes she teaches a lesson about loss. She doesn't know she teaches about transformation. Plato already intuited this mathematics of rebirth. The body is the tomb of the soul. When Daenerys walks to the funeral pyre, it is not despair that moves her. It is understanding, perhaps the first true understanding of her entire life. She enters the fire not to die, but to burn what is mortal in her. The fire doesn't consume her because she is already fire, always was. She only needed the courage to recognize it. The pyre is pedagogy through flames, the final lesson no teacher could teach. To see the sun, it's not enough to leave the cave. One must burn the entire cave, reduce to ashes the very walls that define and limit us. She enters carrying 3 stone eggs. She emerges carrying 3 breathing ideas. Drogon, Rhaegal, Viserion. Not animals, but living arguments that the impossible is only the possible waiting for enough courage.